Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I wanted to step in today on the Black Financial Channel to talk to you guys about the stimulus package. A lot of you have asked me, questions about, what's going on with the stimulus. When, is there another stimulus payment coming? What stimulus package is Congress trying to pass? And basically, right now, as you can imagine, the Republicans and the Democrats disagree on what the stimulus package should look like. Mitch McConnell wants to keep it down to about $1 trillion. I think the Democrats want to go as high as $3 trillion. So they'll probably meet somewhere in the middle. The reason that it's important to pass another stimulus package soon is because there is a pending crisis at hand. The enhanced unemployment benefits are about to end, and when they expire, you're going to see a wave of evictions. That's going to really have a huge impact on the economy and a huge impact on people's lives, and that's why we want to make sure Congress gets a move on and gets this done. The strongest deadline I've seen is about August 7th to August 10th, and I think there's an incentive for both parties to get it done. One of the interesting things is that they're trying to actually limit the payments. Mitch McConnell wants to limit it to people that make less than $40,000 a year. I don't think that's going to go. I don't think that's going to fly. I think they're going to expand it to people with higher income brackets, but they will phase it out, right? So everybody's not going to get a big check or the same check. It's going to depend on whether you need it. So that's a good and a bad thing, right? Because we want the money to go to people that are struggling. We want the money to go to people that really need it. And I also saw provisions that were trying to limit the stimulus payments to ensure that they did not go to businesses that did not need the money. One of the things that really wasn't talked much about is that there were a lot of businesses that did not need the stimulus payments and still got the payments anyway because they were making a ton of money, during the pandemic. And I think that's wrong. I think that money needs to go to the people that need it. Now they are talking about back to work incentives because there's been a problem with people getting checks so big that they didn't want to go back to work. And so I'm not hating on you if that hustle works for you, but I will say that there are people that are now saying that is not something that's going to fly this time around. And so they may do something which I hope they'll do, which is maybe like a cash bonus if you go back to work. So incentives, right, rather than punishment. So incentives for you to go back to work, incentives for the employer to rehire people. Some of you don't work for other people. Some of you work for yourselves. Maybe you have employees you want to bring back, stuff like that. I can recommend as an African American business owner that getting your accounting team together can make a big difference in times like this. I really encourage you to really look at your accounting systems and get you an accountant. They don't cost a whole lot of money. And you can, it makes a big difference in terms of reducing the number of headaches you have. Because how Diddy used to say, more money, more problems. So I think getting an accountant in your system that can sort of handle these things keeps your books clean so that when it's time to go to the bank to get a loan or when it's time to go apply for a PPP loan, you're able to do that. Now, speaking on that issue, I would almost also say that this whole situation obviously is a clear and glaring reminder of the importance of financial security. This is why you put money in your 401k for times like this. This is why you have multiple streams of income for times like this. This is why you own stock for times like this. This is why you own real estate for times like this. This is why you have a business for times like this. This is why you save money for times like this. Because, like right now, people are having to dig in their coffers because, for whatever reason, whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, the pandemic is causing a lot of cities to really hit the brakes on reopening. And it's not really so much because the number of deaths is just so unimaginable. The death rate has actually dropped because the medication has gotten better. It's really because the medical system is overwhelmed by the number of patients. I think that if the medical system could handle the number of patients, we could actually continue to move forward because on a statistical basis, the number of people, the percentage of the population that actually gets the virus is about 1%, roughly around 1%, 1 out of every 100 people. And the percentage of the population that dies is about 1/30 of 1%. So you're talking about if you take the country divided into 3,000 pieces, that one out of those 3,000 pieces would be the death rate, and that would be mostly older people, and then and those who have pre-existing conditions. And the other 2,999 pieces are fine and healthy and are going to survive. So that's what you're really looking at in terms of odds. But I think that the big concern is really overwhelming the healthcare system. That's the big thing. That's why we got to squash it. That's why you got to wear your mask. That's why you got to socially distance. That's why we need them to move forward on medication. That's why they need to move forward on the vaccine. All that stuff. And even if you don't take the vaccine, you want the vaccine, because the vaccine will make the world safe again for people to do business and go to work and everything else. The one thing I want to mention to you guys who have 401k plans with your job. There are stimulus package incentives or opportunities, openings for you to withdraw your 401k without penalty. Typically, you have to withdraw. You have to pay a huge penalty for early withdrawal on your 401k. According to the most recent stimulus package, there are new rules for tapping your 401k during the pandemic. If the withdrawals are less than $100,000 across your different IRA and 401k accounts. Also, your spouse, or your dependent must have been diagnosed with corona or impacted financially because of the pandemic. So maybe you don't have the virus, but you know somebody, or somebody in your family has it, or you're just impacted economically, which is almost everybody. The economic impact is far greater than the health impact. This includes parents who can't work because daycares weren't open. That's going to be a big issue, whether or not the schools open back up. If the schools don't open back up, then it's tougher for people to go back to work. I'm black, and as a black man going through all of this and a black perspective on stimulus and corona and all that, I'm a big believer that this is an opportunity to learn how to homeschool your children. So if you haven't done it yet, the Black Business School is doing free homeschool training programs right now. We got Noma Langa Mushali Moses to come in and to train parents on how to homeschool their kids. And she's in there every Thursday at noon. You can sign up at theblackHomeschoolNetwork.com. That's theblackHomeschoolNetwork.com. Also, another requirement to withdraw your 401k is that the CARES Act basically says that the coronavirus distribution will be taxed as ordinary income, but they'll spread the tax over 3 years. You have the option to pay the money back within 3 years to recoup the tax already paid. So if you pay the money back, you can get your taxes back. Also, CRDs are exempt from the 10% penalty that typically applies to early withdrawals. You can use the money for any purpose, and so it's only in effect for 2020. They will probably extend that for the new act. I think they're calling it the HEROES Act. Also, the other things, right now the stock market has been doing extremely well. There's a lot of debate right now as to whether or not the stock market is an indicator of where the economy is right now. It's not. The stock market is never an indicator of where the economy is right now. The stock market is an indicator of where the economy is going to be years from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. It's an indicator of how strong the companies are and what their long-term potential is. The stock market, all stocks in the market are priced based on future money the companies are going to make. So that's why you see people that invest in the stock market doing so well relative to everybody else. Now, you can sit and be mad about that, or you can participate in that. Now, I've done everything I can. If you go to firstshareofstock.com, that's firstshareofstock.com, we've actually taught probably about 100,000 black people, mostly black people, how to buy their first share of stock. Literally, over 100,000 people have learned how to buy their first share of stock through us, and how to understand diversification and long-term wealth building. My PhD's in finance. If you go to firstshareofstock.com, the training's right there. Feel free to sign up for that and take a look. And then if you want to go deeper, you can go into the Black Business School. We've got lots of stuff for you to help you participate in this wave. I don't know if being mad about it is going to fix your problem. I think fixing the problem might be a little bit better, but it's up to you to make that decision. So I'm not going to put that on you. Last piece, the other thing that the stimulus package is going to include is some provisions for testing for the virus. They got to do more testing. They're not testing enough. They're testing more. I think that is increasing the number of cases, but so I'd be curious to know what the infection rate is. What's the positivity rate? Also, I've heard some people talk about maybe having a flu vaccine that included corona in the vaccine may have caused some of the I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to get into that. But research that if you're interested in that. Also, they've talked about aid to state and local governments. That's a contentious issue because the federal government and the state governments, as you know, are kind of divided on a lot of issues. And I'm not going to talk about politics too much, other than the fact that I want these politics to work in your favor. So that's what I'm finding right now with the stimulus package. That's a stimulus package update. I hope that this helps you in terms of making decisions for your family. Overall, the best thing to do is do your best right now to learn, to grow, to find other ways to generate revenue, to have economic plans to give you a backup. And this is our mini baby version of what a Great Depression would feel like. So if you don't like what you're seeing right now, imagine this happening over a 10-year period. That's kind of what you have with the Depression. So the best way to prepare is to prepare. So please prepare. Please prepare. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Are y'all ready? All right. Well, make sure you subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com, daily financial news and commentary from a black perspective. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Also, don't forget that Black Movie Night happens in a couple of days. If you want to register for Black Movie Night, we're building a black-owned film industry by doing a free Black Movie Night. We're going to watch the movie Black Friday by Rick Mathis, which is all about all this. It's all about black wealth building, black economics, everything else. I'm in the film. David Banner's in the film. Chuck D's in the film. Judge Hatchett's in the film. Les Brown's in the film. Even Ice-T was in there. I think I saw Ice-T and just all these really interesting people. And of course, you got the science in there as well. So I'm gonna, I drop what I drop. But I'm not the only one. And Rick Mathis is an extraordinary filmmaker. He's one of the great people in your community that you want to pay attention to more than what you pay attention, or more than the attention that you give to the filmmakers that are out there in Hollywood that are being constrained and controlled, like Nick Cannon, and being told what to say, being forced to apologize, being broken down. Because right now you saw Nick Cannon breaking down, you saw Tamar Braxton breaking down. I've seen other people break down because there's a lot of pressure of being black in a space that's not built for you. So what I believe is that we should have spaces that are built for us. In fact, I was looking at a picture today of that poor little girl that was walking to school with the books and the glasses on, and all the people were behind her, like calling her the N-word and everything else and yelling at her. And I thought about that, and I said, why would we put our kids through hell to go to an inferior school? Why not send our children to black-owned schools? We talk about black-owned businesses, but what about black-owned schools? Do we support black-owned schools? There are independent black schools like Freedom Home Academy International in Chicago, as well as other schools, the Muhammad University of Islam in Chicago, and quite a few others that are educating our children at a high level. All they need is us. All they need is part of that $1.3 trillion so they can have the budgets to scale up and really educate, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of kids. We have the capacity to do that in our community, and I believe that should be the future. And so one of the things Alicia and I did is as we're getting married, we don't want any wedding gifts. So we're inviting the whole community to our wedding. We had to move it back a year because of COVID, but it's going to be same July 10th instead of 2020, it's 2021. So July 10th, 2021, it's going to be in Chicago. And instead of gifts, we're asking people to donate to the Boyce and Alicia Watkins Foundation, whose number one sole purpose, this foundation that we created, the number one sole purpose is to find ways to fund independent black schools. This is not to give scholarships so that we can go to overpriced universities that are owned by white people who don't like us very much. It's not so that we can go and support failing public schools that make money off our kids and don't educate them. It's so we can find black schools run by black people who educate black children at a very high level so they can be successful. This is not anti-white, anti-anybody. This is just very, very pro-black, and that's what I am. That's what I believe. That's what we do. So it wouldn't make sense for me to talk about financial without putting some black on it. So because y'all know how we do around here. That's what we believe in. So take care, guys. Don't forget Black Movie Night, July 23rd, 8 p.m. blackmovienight.net. That's blackmovienight.net. Also firstshareofstock.com if you want to learn to buy your first share of stock, or just get on the Black Business School email list so we can send you free information for you and your family to help you grow. So take care, guys. I'm out of here. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Hit the thumbs up, like, and share button. Share this video. Please share this with your friends and family who need to hear this. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV.